Alright, hello guys. So recently I've had a few questions about how to use the site. So in particular, just asking about different features. People asking how they can upload files, how they can, download them, save them, how they can share them with their teacher or with their friends. Even people asking, how to change the theme or how to change the appearance. So in this video, I'll just walk through all of that. Basically just looking at the user interface. Hopefully covering everything in about 10 minutes. Um, Alright, and then in future videos, I'm actually going to cover the syllabus. So if we see here, well, we can see, right, this is the whole syllabus. While currently the only thing that's not implemented is pointers. Although, yeah, in future they should hopefully be implemented. So, we can see we've got variables, constants, we've got arithmetic and logical operators, right, input, output, kind of if, else, so selection, obviously loops, right, iteration, just etc. So in future videos, I will comment, I will make videos about all of this. However, today it will just be about how to use the site. So, if you want to watch this video, of course, stay watching. If you think this is not relevant, alright, then just, skip to the next video. However, right, maybe there are some features that you didn't realize. So, if you want, you could just watch on double speed, for example. Alright, so yeah, let's not waste any time, let's just jump in. So, for those that don't know, the website here, well, pseudocode.pro. This website, if you sort of read this, it will tell you. Basically, what it was designed for the Cambridge syllabus, and in particular the IGCSE and A level kind of qualifications. So, the whole idea is that, obviously before students, they could sort of write pseudocode by hand, but they didn't really have any way of testing it. So yeah, the reason this website was made was this, well, so that students can write their pseudocode here. Of course, they can then click execute. They can have input output. And then here we're just going to see the result like this. Obviously you can use the website version like this. However, I'm actually going to use the desktop app just for this demo. Because if we just look at this, well, one, we see it's going to be quicker, right? It's going to load faster, because it's just saved on your computer. There's also no adverts, right? There's going to be more challenges, okay? Just, a few extra features. So I guess if we just start, probably the best place to start is here, just in this kind of settings cog in the bottom left. Here we can obviously change the theme, right? Currently there's only two, just the dark or the glass theme. Now, if anyone does want maybe a light theme or a different color, then just, click here on this contact, right? You can send me an email, let me know what you want, and then I can try to make it. Right, this checks, I'll try to keep this video quick, so I won't go into that much detail. But basically these checks, this will try to ensure that your pseudocode is valid. So if we see here, it says things like assigning a string to an integer is going to be invalid, right? That's not going to be allowed. However, some combinations are allowed, like if we assign a character to a string, because if we think a single character, for example A, would be a valid string. However, going the other way, right, a string is not necessarily going to be a valid character. Like if we have the string ABC, well, ABC is like 3 characters, so that would be an invalid character. Likewise, integer to real, the integer 4 would be a valid real number, but the real number, say 4.1, wouldn't be a valid integer. Here, right, there's also many other checks. Now, the reason I have this was because, well, when I made the site sort of, 8 months ago, initially, it was implemented in a completely different way. There were some bugs. So sometimes it would think that your pseudocode was invalid, but actually that wasn't a problem with the pseudocode. It was actually, my website that was kind of like, let's say, analyzing the code incorrectly. This can just disable some of those kind of error checking methods. Just in case you get false positives. Now, if you do have a situation where you think the code should work and my site tells you there's an error, I mean, then here, like it says, right, just again, contact me, send me an email. However, other than classes, which maybe have a few small bugs, yeah, currently there's not any bugs that I'm aware of. All right, so the site should be working pretty well. Right, the next thing this hints, basically these will just be code suggestions. So I'm actually just going to delete everything. And in fact, actually, let's show you how to make a new program, right? So we can just click here. Let's call this maybe pseudocode. Right, pseudocode demo. And then if I just start typing, for example here, right, it says output. And in fact, let's just clear some of these. Okay, yeah, that should have cleared it. So that is a small little bug. Right, so if we type output, then you see here, right, it gives us these code suggestions. So I can of course just press enter, and then let's say, for example, I want maybe mid. So if we see here, well, this again, right, these are sort of other code suggestions. So we see here, well, it gives us the function name. Then it gives us the parameters that it takes. So it says it takes a string, right, also some x, right, integer, and then y, another integer, and then it's going to return a string. So here, and I mean, actually this is just taken directly from the Cambridge guide, because when it comes to using the Cambridge functions, well, rather than me writing these descriptions, it's kind of better just to take it like directly from the source, right? Take the official examples. So yeah, we see here, right, this takes a string, so let's just write maybe pseudocode. Let's say pseudocode.pro. Right, and then the next one, so now it says x. So here, this x, it tells us this is the starting position of the substring. So let's say I want to get this code. So here the starting position is going to be 7. All right, C is going to be the letter 7. C is the 7th character. And then, right, the number of characters I want is just going to be 4. Now, if we want to run this program, well, we can just click run here. Personally, I like going Control Enter, right? It's just a little bit easier for me. And yeah, we see, right, this kind of correctly outputs code. Now, as we saw right here, as we were typing, we were getting the code suggestions. However, if you want to make it more difficult for yourself, so here, right, it's going to say, well, you won't get any keyword identifier, a sort of module, parameter, return types, right? You won't get any of these suggestions. So now if we type output, right, you see there's no suggestions. Likewise here, right, we get no suggestions for the parameters. So I mean, honestly, I think, I think most people won't really need that. But if some people want to make it more difficult, kind of like exam conditions, then you can do this, because obviously in the exam you're not going to get all these like suggestions for you. Although A level, they do give you the actual function list, right, or the module list, which is quite nice. Whereas I think for IG they actually don't, which it does make it harder, to be honest. Right, I mean, the font size, well, I mean, pretty obvious what this does. If you're a teacher, okay, there we go. If you're a teacher and of course you're demonstrating this, to your class, then obviously you're going to want to make the font size nice and big. I'm also going to use Control and then the up arrow, right, just to make it bigger as well. Okay. Because I know actually on video sometimes code is hard to read, or hard to see. Right, so this execution time, if we just read here, so if you write code that will cause an infinite loop, then the problem with this is it would cause the website to become unresponsive. And I mean, that's actually out of my control. This is just, I guess, the way browsers work. That if a website generates an infinite loop, basically, the browser will just kind of like crash the tab, right? Or it will close the tab. So to prevent that from happening, well, we've got this max execution time. So any code that's running longer than this max execution time, right, and this is in seconds, that will just automatically terminate that program. And as it says here, right, if you have a legitimately long-running program, so maybe you're calculating, the first million prime numbers, then you could just set this to -1, all right, and then this will disable this check. I mean, so we can just see how this works. So let's just try and print. Yeah, we'll just try and print from, you know, like 1 to 1 million or something. Just, you know, all of the numbers. So let's declare an integer, right? We'll call it n. And to be honest, this video is not really focusing on the code, so I won't really explain what this is doing. Yeah, we'll discuss that in future lessons. Right, so let's go while true. So this means it will, it's always going to loop, right? It's going to be an infinite loop. Here, let's just output n, and then we'll just increment n like this. And right, if I run this, so yeah, currently now it's running. So let's just wait. And okay, there we go. So you see here it says program execution exceeded the maximum allowed execution time of 5 seconds. And I mean, if we just look how far this has got, right, so it's got to about 30,000. And then of course, yeah, like 5 seconds, you know, we're up, and then it stopped. Now again, you know, if you want to sort of turn this off, well, just set it to -1, you know, or of course just set it to some huge number like this. Right now the syllabus, currently there's only one syllabus. However, if someone is doing a different course, maybe like the IB or yeah, possibly AP, I'm not really sure about that. Right, then you can again just send me a message, let me know, and if there is enough demand, then I can actually modify this website so it will, you know, work for sort of both syllabuses. Yeah, I'll just add support for other syllabuses. Right, I mean, this pseudocode guide, actually I'm going to open this just in the browser because, yeah, my internet is a little bit slow. I've not loaded it up. I mean, so this is, well, yeah, I mean, obviously this is like the official kind of resource. So if you don't know how to do something, right, then just load up this. I mean, honestly, probably, you know, make sure you've saved it to your computer, you know, just download it. And then anything you're unsure about, of course, you can just come here. So let's say, for example, maybe functions. So yeah, okay, so here we can see functions, and since it's a kind of clickable PDF, well, if we click it, you know, that will take us, okay, here we go. So yeah, that will take us here. Of course, it's got a description, it's got a kind of general example, and then yeah, here it's then got a more specific example. So, you know, again, I would say, I mean, make sure to use this document. I mean, or just look at the examples here, right, in this program, or yeah, on this website. So, I mean, just quickly, since I mentioned the examples, you can find the examples here, all right. I think currently there's 64, all right, although I will add more. And you can also go search here, right, where there's also more programs. So I think right next, if we just talk about this, so the keyboard shortcuts, as mentioned, well, you can execute using Control Enter, change the font size with, you know, Control up and down, yeah, or just use this settings cog in the bottom left. Right next or previous program, I guess Control left will go previous program, you know, Control right goes to the next program. Yeah, I mean, some of these others you can read. I mean, this full screen, so you can use Control M, alright, or there is a button as well, which I'll show you in a minute. And then, I mean, just basic kind of like document shortcuts really. So let's say find is Control F, you know, select all, Control A, yeah, copy, paste, undo, redo. Yeah, just basic shortcuts. Right, I mean, this one, so some people, I know they like to change the color. So I mean, the default theme is just this vibrant. However, you know, there are a few different themes here, and again, I can add more if people want there to be more. But I mean, you know, you can also just change it yourself. Like, let's say, yeah, I don't know. Let's say this data type, right, this integer. So for some reason, maybe we want this to be red or something. I mean, so you see here, and you know, right now, well, now the data types are going to become red. And I mean, what's nice about this is that even if we close it and then let's open it again, and okay, here we go. So you see it's actually remembered, and I'm just going to make the font size a bit bigger again. Yeah, you see it's remembered our theme, and if we see here, you know, you can also share this theme, you know, with your friends. Yeah, yeah, I guess maybe with your, you know, classmates, basically. Right, okay, so I guess onto the actual code editor. So if we want to run the program, let's just output something simple. Yeah, well, let's just say hello world. So of course to run it, well, we can just click this run. We can also try control enter. So okay, you see control enter, this also works. Now there are actually different options with running. So if we see this live, well, if we read this, this will execute, basically it will execute every time we type a character. So for example here, if we type, 456, right, you can see it is automatically updating, as we're typing. So this is quite good, but the problem is, let's say we go here, and for example here, right, like I was going to type if, but now it's given us this error because of course we've got code that's like not complete, right? It's not valid. Yeah, so that and well, this live can also result in infinite loops if you've got code that's kind of partially complete. Right, the next one, so exited code editor. So this will just execute. Hang on, let's turn this on. So let's say you're typing. All right, and then as soon as I click somewhere else, okay, then you see it just automatically executes. But I think really, just run on click. So this just means when they click it, it's going to run. Or of course when they do, like control enter. Right now, I mean programs, well, of course we can search them. So let's say we want arrays. So let's click on this, right, find the kind of example about arrays. We can also use control left and right. So okay, you can see here. And of course we can also use these arrows as well. Yeah, just to navigate through the demo programs. And in fact, let me just make it full screen. Because yeah, just to make it a bit easier to see. I mean, if you do want to see another list of these demo programs, I mean, they're also here. So let's say we want to go to maybe files. Yeah, let's try read file. And you see, right, we've clicked on that read file, and then it's automatically loaded it here, and also executed for us. Right, again, as we've seen, a new program, just click on this. Right, currently this auto format is actually disabled. This was working previously, but after I implemented classes, yeah, there was actually a few problems with this. So I mean, currently it just says, yeah, kind of under development. But I mean, this will be, re-enabled eventually. All right, although I suppose it's not like a main feature, so it's sort of not the main priority, to be honest. Right, if we want to load code, so I guess first we have to download it. So we could download this, right? This would save it to our hard drive, or save it to our computer. And then of course maybe we could send it to someone, or we could load it ourselves at another time. And then then we can click on this load. Now to be honest, I won't do this because I've got like students' work and stuff on my computer. But I mean, if you did this, of course, you could like navigate to your folder, right, find the file and just load it in. But again, I mean, let's just write something. Let's just say like, I don't know, maybe hello 123. Now, if we just run this, right, then let's just close it. All right, and then you should notice that when we load it again, okay, right, it has actually loaded one of the old versions. Okay. Alright, so yeah, this was the read file that we modified, and then I guess the other demo was here. Alright, but basically, I mean, it will save all the changes you make, okay, which is quite nice. Right, so if you want to upload, so like it says, this is for public viewing, so yeah, of course, right, anyone can view this. Now, if we just want to share it, so this will be private. So for example, maybe you need to share some code like with your teacher or with your friends. All right, just click on this, give it a name. Let's just say like hello example. And then I mean here, of course, just copy this link, right, send it. And then when they open it, it's going to load this code by default. And for example, we can actually see like if we just sort of add some more numbers, then if we just update this, right, I mean now you see this code, yeah, well, I mean, okay, basically this is base 64. So yeah, this code kind of variable, right, or parameter, this has obviously changed. And yeah, as we see, right, just this we can toggle, full screen on and off like this. Right, so I think the next thing, some people are having problems with making files. So let's say we load in this read file. Okay, here we go. So right, you see, if we run this read file, I mean here this open file for write, this is actually going to make the file, and you see here we've called it like alphabet.txt. So here we can see it's actually made it, and if we want, I don't know if you can see this, but we could click on this like little kind of recycle bin, and I mean that would actually delete the program. But to be honest, I'm just going to modify it. So let's just say like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right, you see we've changed it, and now it says updated file alphabet.txt. So let's actually just comment this. So I'm going to press Control and then /. Alright, so now we're only reading to the file. We're not actually writing the alphabet to it. So yeah, now when we read it, alright, well here, it should read this contents, and then it's just going to output here like this. So yeah, let's try and run that. And yeah, okay. So I mean the key thing is then, of course, we can directly edit the files here, and basically they're going to be saved, as we edit them. Now, of course, we can also create a new file. So let's just call this like maybe myfile.txt. And I mean, this extension can be anything, right? Or we can even have no extension like this. And I mean here, I don't know, let's just say welcome to pseudocode.pro. And let's try to spell that correctly. So I'm just going to have it on 4 different lines. So just to simulate, reading 4 lines of the file. And then here, right, let's change this to my file with no extension. And then if we just execute this, okay. And then you see we get this welcome to pseudocode.pro. Right, so I'm actually going to leave this full screen now, just so we can actually see the navigation bar again. So I think for the home page, I mean this is everything. Again, here's obviously the all the list of demo programs. And I mean just a few, a bit more information here. But I think the next thing, like if we go to the search, and let's just wait. Okay, it seems my internet is a little bit slow. But I mean this is if people have uploaded public programs, other people can search for them here. So I mean currently we've only got maybe about 12 or something. So it would be good if people could actually upload their own programs. So if you've made like let's say a nice game, or maybe some kind of animation, or let's say solved some of the exam questions, you could type sort of say 2023 summer, paper 1, and type the question number, and then if you've got a working solution, right, I mean just kind of upload your code here so that others can actually see the solution. So hopefully we can have maybe like 1,000 programs here that others can use. Right, challenges. So basically these are just practice challenges. I mean some of these are exam style, some of these are more just kind of let's say like more kind of creative challenges, or more challenges that you can kind of let's say I don't know, let's say they're challenges that you can kind of have a go at, and kind of extend and take in your own direction, I suppose. But anyway, we can search them. So let's say we want to sort them by difficulty. Okay, so here you go, we can see, I guess green, right, this is difficulty 1, right, difficulty 2. Of course, all the way up to difficulty 5, which is going to be, pretty difficult. Right, and then of course we can also search them. So let's say, I think there's one called hashtags. So and then of course, let's say we want to try this one. So let's click on it. And actually, I mean, it should be faster, but I think my internet is just slow. So let's just wait. Okay, so that's finally loaded. So as we can see here, each of the challenges, well, they're going to have a simple description. I mean, usually actually more detail than this, although this is quite a simple challenge, so just, a simple description. Right, then they're also going to have some examples. And also, I mean, I think, 99% they also have an extension as well. I mean, again, this one is quite simple, so there's not very much, right? Although, for some of the difficult challenges, there's actually quite a lot of text here. And the examples can get quite complex. and likewise the extensions. Now, if you want to save your progress, of course, just click this mark as complete. If you want to try this, click on the Open Encode Editor, right, and then you see here again, well, we just get, you know, the challenge name, the description, the examples, right, and extension. So of course we can easily see that, you know, as we're actually doing the code on the same page. And then I think just two more things. Again, any code you upload publicly, well, it's going to be saved here in this My Code. And obviously here we can click on it, right, we can delete them, and likewise for favorites too. So yeah, of course here we can just click on our favorites, and yeah, probably I will add an option here to kind of delete your favorites as well. Yeah, although currently you can do that, you know, on the search page and on the code page. Right, anyway guys, so I think for that video that's pretty much everything. I mean, hopefully people understand how to use the website. You know, I don't think it's that complex. But yeah, I mean, if people do have any more features, then let me know. And of course, in future videos, it should be, well, kind of more beneficial, more interesting, right, where we'll actually look at the code. Yeah, alright, so hope to see you then.